Soft light on the table, soft light in my chest. Sunlight folded in my hands, I catch it like a note, a gentle little melody that settles in my throat. You strolling with the morning, barefoot on the floor, and suddenly the shadows fade that live behind my door. Sunlight folded in my hands, bright and slow, soft as any blessing I have come to know. I hold it like a promise, the universe expands with sunlight folded in my hands. You pour a cup of quiet, you hum a tune I know, and all the hurried edges of my heart begin to slow. You say the day looks gentle, I say it feels like grace. The warmth between our sleepy smiles fills up the empty space. Once I chased the skylines, once I begged for more. Now I find my heaven spilling through the door. Sunlight drifting, glowing, resting on your face. A portrait made of tenderness the morning can't replace. And if the world grows louder and pushes where it can, I'll still hold this sunlight in my hands. Sunlight folded in my hands, soft and true, guiding all the quiet paths that lead to you. A gentle kind of courage only daylight understands. Sunlight folded in my hands. Coffee rings on quiet words left open on the page. We talk like gentle playwrights at an early warming stage. The steam curls like a question, the sunlight leans to read. Your voice is soft and sleepy in a way my heart can need. Coffee rings on quiet words, brown and gold, marking little stories we have never told. No need for perfect grammar, no need for careful chords, just you and me and quiet words. You underline a sentence, you smile and lean it back. I trace the ring it left behind like a small forgotten track. The morning hums its low notes, the window lets in peace, and all the rushing hours give us their release. Some mornings slip unnoticed, some fall into the haze, but this one glows like artwork in a frame of gentle days. So leave the coffee circles, let them stain the book. Let's keep these little fingerprints of everywhere we look. And when the world gets heavy, I'll turn back to these lines, the quiet words. between the signs. Coffee rings on quiet words, soft and true, proof that morning poetry was shared with you. Let life keep spilling stories in its clumsy loving blur with coffee rings on quiet words. The day leans softly in, like a friend who knows the way, sliding through the curtains with a bright but tender sway. It tapped upon the dishes, it shimmered on the floor, and danced along your sweater as you wandered through the door. The day leans softly in, soft and shy, painting both our shadows in a rosy sigh. It whispered little promises I barely could begin when the day leaned softly in. You shuffled to the window, you brushed your sleepy hair. You said it feels like kindness is returning to the air. Your voice was like the sunlight, a warmth I'd come to trust, a quiet invitation to rise without a fuss. Some mornings roar with thunder, some push us out of bed, but this one held a softness in everything it said. We stood there breathing slowly, letting light unfold, a pair of fragile daydreams in a halo made of gold. And even if the hours turn busy once again, I'll still recall the day leaned softly in. The day leaned softly in, true and clear, leaving tiny blessings we could keep all year. If dawn could choose a moment to cradle us within, it'd be the day that softly leaned in. In the honey warm corners of you, where your laughter likes to hide, I find the little sunlight that lives beneath your pride. You turn your face toward morning, your eyes half full of dreams, and everything around us glows in sweet, forgiving beams. Honey warm corners of you, soft and bright, where the world melts gently into golden light. I fall a little deeper every time I stumble through the honey warm you stretch across the pillows. You murmur half a thought. I chase it with a whisper and the answers that it brought. Your fingers draw a lazy line, a map of who you are, a root of all the tenderness that led me from afar. Love is not a thunder, it's not a strike or flame. It's in the quiet corners where someone says your name. So let the daylight gather, let shadows fade away. I'll rest inside the warmth of you as long as morning stays. And when the hours scatter and fade into the blue, I'll still keep all these corners close and true. Honey warm corners of you, soft and kind, a sweet unspoken refuge for my tired mind. If home exists in feelings, I finally see it too. In honey warm corners of you. On barefoot streets we wandered without aim, following the sunlight like children in a game. Your sandals in your backpack, my laughter in the air. We walked as if the morning had blossoms in its hair. Bossa on barefoot streets, warm and free, skipping down the pavement like a gentle melody. No map, no need for hurry, no need for steady beats. Just bossa on barefoot streets. You hummed a little rhythm, I stepped in time with you. The city felt much softer than it usually tends to do. The breeze played with your shirt hem, the leaves kept tapping time, and suddenly the whole world felt set to our design. Maybe life is lighter when shoes are in our hands, when sunlight leads the orchestra, and we just understand. If ever we grow older and forget this easy sway, let's take our shoes off once again and find a bossa day. For now just let the laughter guide our dancing feet. Bossa on barefoot streets. On barefoot streets.
reflected in the glass looked softer than the morning as the gentle minutes passed. The sunlight sketched your outline, the breeze arranged your hair, and suddenly the little room felt lighter everywhere. Your smile on the window pane, soft and true, a quiet piece of heaven leaned into view. No need for any poetry, no need for big refrain, just your smile on the window pane. You traced a little circle, a foggy heart of steam. I watched your finger draw it like a waking, tender dream. The warmth upon the glasswork, the glow across your skin, turned simple morning moments to places I begin. Love is in the quiet, in reflections made of gold, in softened little glimpses that stories never told. So stand there in the sunlight, let daylight wrap your face, let everything uncertain find its resting place. And when the world grows colder or doubts begin again, I'll look for that soft image on the window pane. Your smile on the window pane, warm and kind, a memory of daylight I keep in mind. If mornings could be captured in one sweet refrain, it'd be your smile on the window pane. There's a song waiting in the teapot, steaming through the spout, a melody of morning, slowly drifting out. You pour it with a smile, I catch it in my cup, and suddenly the ordinary feels like waking up. A song waiting in the teapot, warm and sweet, singing through the sunrise with a gentle beat. We sip a little chorus, we let the laughter drop from the song inside the teapot. Your hands are still half sleepy, your hair a little wild, your voice a touch off key in the way I've always smiled. The table holds our quiet, the plates hold scattered crumbs, but the teapot keeps on humming where the little rhythm comes. Life can play the louder tunes, the loudness and the fight, but here we brew the softer ones that teach us how to light. So pour another moment, let every droplet fall, let's drink the gentle music that rises when we stall. And when the world grows noisy and calm is hard to spot, we'll listen for the song inside the teapot. A song waiting in the teapot, oh so clear, it's every steaming whisper singing mornings I'm glad you're here. If love could choose an instrument, I think it might be heart. A warm, sweet singing teapot. Apricot shine on the tabletop. The morning shakes its hair. You laugh about the sunlight falling everywhere. We share a bowl of sweetness, we share a bit of grin. The fruit is barely brighter than the glow you're holding in. Apricot shine on the tabletop, warm and bold, painting simple breakfast in a tint of gold. We don't need adventure, we don't need to stop, we just need apricot shine on the tabletop. You offer me a slice, you smear a little jam. I tease you about your habits, you tease the way I am. The curtains wave like dancers, the plates tap little beats. We fall into a rhythm of lazy morning treats. If joy had any color, if peace had any gleam, it'd be this apricot light across our morning scene. So let the brightness linger, the shadows take their time. Let's let the day unfold itself in citrus gold and shine. We'll gather up these sunbeams, we'll fold them in our hands. Apricot morning magic following our plans. Apricot shine on the tabletop, soft and pure. Nothing in this gentle world I'd trade for more. Let every day begin like this. Let all the worries drop with apricot on the tabletop. Steps painted by morning light, we walk across the floor, bare feet making patterns toward an unplanned day once more. The beams are warm and narrow, they stripe across your skin, and suddenly my sleepy thoughts begin their little spin. Steps painted by morning light, bright and clear, guiding us through waking hours without a fear. Our path is soft and golden, no rush, no need for fight, just steps in morning light. You hum a tiny rhythm, I match you with a grin. We trace the shifting sunshine like a playful violin. The coffee sings behind us, the clock forgets to ring, and somewhere in this simple peace our hearts begin to swing. Life may hold its battles, life may test our will, but every dawn reminds us that hope is with us still. So let the hours wander, let sunlight guide our feet. Let's follow where the brightness goes through every gentle street. Steps painted by morning light, a path both small and grand, reminds me that I'm strongest
Soft jazz for a slow wake, just a whisper in the air, a pillow of piano notes to lift me from my care. You stretch beneath the blankets, you breathe a quiet tune, and all the rushing worries melting to the room. Soft jazz for a slow wake, tender start, music drifting gently down the corridors of heart. We don't need to hurry, we don't need to shake, just soft jazz for a slow awake. The ceiling glows in silver, the windows glow in gold. The morning holds a softness that never can grow old. You shift a little closer, you touch my sleepy hand, and suddenly the day's demands feel easy to withstand. The world will soon get louder, the world will have its say, but here beneath this blanket light we keep the noise away. So let the bass walk slowly, let cymbals breathe and sigh, let melody arrive on wings that barely touch the sky. And when the morning deepens and we prepare to rise, we'll take this gentle quiet to soften future cries. Soft jazz for a slow wake, warm and true, a little bit of heaven shared with you. If every day could start like this, what beauty we could make with soft jazz for a slow sun above your shoulder rested like a sigh, a little glow that lingered in the corner of your eye. You leaned against the railing, you breathed the gentle air, and suddenly the afternoon felt lighter everywhere. The quiet sun above your shoulder, soft and true, painting little halos where it touches you. A moment made of warmth, too tender to be older. The quiet sun above your shoulder. You talked about the headlines, you brushed your hair aside, but I was watching sunlight pick a place to hide. It shimmered in your laughter, it softened every line, a hush of gold that gathered in your simple, steady shine. Not every hour sparkles, not every day is kind, but sometimes all it takes is one more light to unwind. So let the world keep turning, let shadows come and go. I'll stay inside this golden frame where gentle moments grow. And if you ever lose your peace, or if your hope gets colder, I'll show you where it stayed, above your shoulder. The quiet sun above your shoulder, calm and bright, a whisper, a little blessing held in light. If love could choose a place to rest in all the skies I know, it'd be the sun above your glow. Tender minutes in a half-lit room, we breathe instead of speak. Let silence build a soft cocoon around the weary week. The window hums with evening wind, the lamp gives off a sigh, and all the thoughts we carried here grow smaller by and by. Tender minutes in a half-lit room, warm and slow, letting quiet settle in the spaces we don't show. No pressure to be clever, no need to bloom, just tender minutes in a half-lit room. Your fingers trace the rim of your forgotten cup. I watch the little pattern where your warmth shows up. We talk about the nothing things, the things that matter most, like how the sunset found a way to soften what we lost. Life can be a thunderstorm, a rush, a roar, a run, but here the gentle shadows heal what must be done. So close your eyes a moment, let all the noise drift by. We'll gather quiet blessings till our worries learn to fly. And when the world gets louder, we'll find our refuge soon in tender minutes in a half-lit room. Tender minutes in a half-lit room, safe and kind, a gentle restoration for inside the bloom of tender moments in a half-lit room. You laugh in the sunbeam dust, turn the whole room gold. A sparkling lyrical that never could grow old. You tilted back your head, you shook the morning loose, and sunlight danced around you like it found a better use. You laugh in the sunbeam dust, bright and free. A tiny happy earthquake shaken into me. If joy could find a hiding place, if love could earn its trust, it'd be your laugh in sunbeam dust. You dropped your spoon twice over, you spilled the tangerine. You said you weren't awake enough, the cutest mess I've seen. The rays kept floating softly through all your clumsy art, and every little shimmer made graffiti on my heart. I don't need perfection, I don't need clean design. Give me all the sweetness in these dusty signs. So keep on laughing brightly, keep waking up the light. Keep leaving traces of your joy in beams that feel just right. For even when the day turns gray or evening gathers rust, I'll remember your laughing sunbeam dust. Your laugh in the sunbeam dust, true and kind. A warm, unruly treasure for my fingerprints in morning's gentle gusts, they come from you. In sunbeam dust. Lemon honey breeze across the curtains, summer in the air, a whisper of the sunlight curling in your hair. We open all the windows, we let the morning in. Your laughter tastes like citrus with a dash of gentle grin. Lemon honey breeze across the curtains, fresh and sweet. Sugar, you tease me for the mess. I tell you that your brightness is the truth I love the best. We sway like lazy blossoms, we hum like cheerful bees. The hour melts around us in honeyed harmonies. Life doesn't need a spotlight, it doesn't need a stage. Sometimes joy is breezing in through half an open page. So when the noon grows heavy and shadows start to climb, we'll chase another bossa glow across the edge of time. Let lemon honey linger, let every warm gust please the world feel soft in breeze.
simple afternoons in gentle air. If sunlight had a flavor that any heart could seize, it tastes like lemon in the breeze.
Lazy jazz on the balcony rail. We lean and watch the street. The day drifts by in soft parade of unfamiliar feet. You sip a little lemonade, I sip the mellow shade. We talk about the weekdays and all the plans we made. Lazy jazz on the balcony rail, warm and slow, letting breezes wander everywhere they go. No hurry in our voices, no need for detail, just lazy jazz on the balcony rail. A saxophone from far below floats up in little sighs. We nod along in quiet as clouds crawl through the skies. The city feels forgiving, the noise has turned to hush. We rest our elbows gently on the balcony's warm brush. Sometimes peace is simple, sometimes calm is plain. Just two souls sharing sunshine and the scent of distant rain. So let the afternoon unfold in mellow blues and light. We'll sit until the shadows begin to borrow night. No grand romantic gestures, just love in its detail. Lazy jazz on the balcony rail. Lazy jazz on the balcony rail. Softened and clear, smoothing out the edges of the year. If joy could take a seat with us and leave a little tale, it hung on the balcony rail. Heart beats in the color of gold, soft as whispered vows. Settle in the quiet space between our tangled brows. You trace along my shoulder, you breathe a gentle tone. suddenly the evening feels brighter than it's shown. Heartbeats in the color of gold, warm and deep, guiding every lullaby that rocks us into sleep. No diamonds in the darkness, no silver to behold, just heartbeats in the color of gold. You tell me little secrets, I answer in a grin. We fit like old confessions that trust keeps folding in. The windows hum in amber, the room begins to glow. A portrait made of moments we barely even know. Once I thought love dazzling, a spark, a fire, ablaze. But now I see the truth is in steady, tender rays. So wrap me in your warmth tonight. Let all the noise fall back. Let all the stray uncertainties slip through the little cracks. The golden hush between us is where our stories hold. Two heartbeats in the color of gold. Heartbeats in the color of gold, true and kind, bringing softer rhythms to my mind. If every love could shimmer in peaceful hues untold, it'd shine in quiet gold. Sand-apple promises flicker on your arm, dancing like the daydreams that keep my fears from harm. You smile at the horizon, you tilt your gentle chin, and suddenly the sunlight feels like where I should begin. Sand-apple promises, warm and clear, resting in the quiet glow that gathers when you're near. No need for grand convictions, no vows or guarantees, just sunlight falling through the trees. We walk in scattered daylight, we talk in shaded tone. Your fingers brush the air like a rhythm I've always known. The colors slowly shimmer, the shadows softly sway, and much like those small promises, you brighten up my day. Not every truth is thunder, not every dream is fast. Some grow in tiny sparkles where
between the trees. Sun-dappled promises, safe and sweet, gathered in the sunlight at our feet. If hope could choose a texture in moments such as these, it'd be the light between the trees. The warm line between our shadows cross softly on the floor. A slender thread of amber light that tied us evermore. You stood beside the window, I waited by your side. And somehow in that glowing line our quiet hearts aligned. The warm line between our shadows, soft and deep, a gentle vow the sunlight chose for us to keep. No need for words or promises, no need for yes or no, just warmth between our shadows. You took a single step toward me, I moved an inch as well, and in that tiny merging was every tale to tell. The room forgot its corners, the day forgot its weight. The shadows that once lingered turned suddenly to straight. Some loves form in thunder, some strike like sudden flame, but ours was in that trembling line where sunlight said your name. So when the dusk grows colder and doubts begin to swell, I'll think about that meeting line that held us so well. The world can pull at edges, the night can try to go, but nothing breaks the warmth we know. The warm line between our shadows, calm and bright, connecting where we're fragile with threads of light. If destiny could highlight where tenderness should grow, it'd be the line between our shadows.
are rare and kind and sweet. They linger in the doorway and refuse to lift their feet. The sunlight on the bookshelves, the hush across the floor, makes every second feel like something worth much more. Afternoons that forget to end, warm and slow, letting time unravel every place we go. No rush to chase tomorrow, no pressure to pretend, just afternoons that never end. You stretch across the cushions, you hum a lazy tune. I watch the glimmer shimmer like fragments of a moon. We talk about our histories, the silly and the true, and somewhere in the middle I fall deeper into you. Some moments fight the fading, some hold a sacred hue, like quiet hours dripping into something new. So when the sky grows amber and shadows wanna stay, we'll let the hours linger in their slow and tender sway. For love is found in pauses, where daylight learns to bend. In afternoons that never end. Afternoons that forget to end, soft and kind, leaving gentle laughter in the mind. If heaven had a schedule, it surely would extend those afternoons that never end. The softest shade of yellow fell across your face, a tender bit of daylight that settled into place. You stood there in the doorway, the morning in your eyes, and every ounce of sorrow turned to tiny fireflies. The softest shade of yellow, pure and light, a gentle kind reminder that we're alright. No thunder in the moment, no reasons we must show, just daylight, soft and low. You held a cup
cup of something warm. You breathed a careful sigh, and I could feel the tension in my chest begin to fly. We didn't need to talk much, we didn't need a plan. Just standing there in sunlight made me feel I can. Some colors heal the heartache, some colors calm the fear, but yellow, soft and quiet, always keeps me near. So when the world grows heavy and nights refuse to play, we'll wait beside the window for the morning's gentle sway. The softest shade of yellow will show us where to go by painting hope on what we know. The softest shade of yellow, warm and true, a little bit of brightness meant for you. If love had any daylight in hues that softly show, it shine yellow in yellow.
We sat where sky met windowsill, the evening taking form, the colors spilled like secrets, still remember in the warm. You traced your day in fragments and half-laugh little sighs. The sunset wrapped your sentences in soft and golden guise. Where the sunset touched our thoughts, time slowed down. Every little worry lost its crown. We didn't solve the world, we didn't tie the knots, we just sat where sunset touched our thoughts. You talked about your failures, the ones you keep inside. I told you how I'm softer now since I stopped needing pride. The shadows climbed the ceiling, the light sank to the floor, but in that fading moment I loved you a little more. Sometimes all a heart needs is someone who will stay to watch the sky turn amber as the noise drifts away. Now every time the evening turns half the city red, I feel that quiet stillness return inside my head. I'm grateful for the daylight, but more for what it's taught. The way we heal, where sunset touches thought, where the sunset touched our thoughts, soft and true, painting all our fragile truths in kinder hues. We'll meet there on the windowsill when days feel overwrought, where where the sunset touches thought. Warm echoes down the hallway, your laughter turning soft, bouncing off the picture frames and drifting up aloft. I stand here in the kitchen, my hands still wet with soap, and feel the way your presence wraps my ribs in hope. Warm echoes down the hallway, soft and clear, carrying the comfort that you're here. I don't need to see you to feel you anyway. I hear you, and the hallway. Your footsteps find the bedroom, your humming finds the door. You talk to all the quiet rooms like they're not empty anymore. This house was once a hollow shell, a quiet painted shell, but now the walls remember you far better than I tell. Some homes are built with marble, some shine with polished glass. Ours is stitched with echoes that gently seem to last. So when my chest grows heavy, when doubts begin to walk, I'll stand here near the dishes and listen to you talk. Warm echoes down the hallway, the music I adore, a steady human lullaby. I couldn't ask for more. Warm echoes down the hallway, true and kind, a simple sort of medicine for my mind. When silence feels too heavy or hope seems far away, I'll wait for echoes in the hallway.
voice wrapped in evening hair, soft as folded wings, floated through the open pane on gentle purple strings. You called my name so quietly, as if the night might wake, and every syllable you used made something in me ache. Your voice wrapped in evening air, low and warm, a refuge from the thunder and the storm. You didn't say forever, you didn't say I swear, just my name in evening air. We sat beside the window, our elbows on the frame. You talked about those little fears you rarely dare to name. The streetlights glowed like candles, the city hummed below, but all I really noticed was the way your phrases flowed. I've heard 1,000 songs before, I've read 1,000 lines, yet nothing sounds as beautiful as when your voice meets mine. So speak to me in whispers, in half-completed thoughts, in every shade of quiet that can soothe a tangled knot. For even if the darkness grows heavy with despair, I'll find my calm in evening air. Your voice wrapped in evening air, soft and near, turns the lonely corners of my fear. If love could choose a volume and still be fully there, it'd be your voice in evening air. Jazz resting on tired shoulders, like a blanket made of sound, settles on the weary bones that carried one more round. The record spins its mercy, the trumpet sighs its tune, the piano strokes our troubles like a mother strokes the moon. Jazz resting on tired shoulders, warm and low, rocking all the heavy thoughts we rarely show. We sink into the cushions, we leave the day outside. Let music be our guide.
You loosen up your collar, you kick your shoes away. You tell me all the crooked parts of one more crooked day. I pour a bit of quiet, you lean into my side, and somewhere between bass and brush our restless hearts subside. We don't need words for everything, we don't need to explain. Sometimes it takes a gentle chord to wash away the strain. Jazz resting on tired shoulders, it understands the cost of showing up and trying on days we feel half lost. So let it play a little more, let every echo mend, until we feel our strength again return like an old friend. Jazz resting on tired shoulders, soft and kind, a lullaby for grown-up troubled minds. When all our strength feels borrowed and courage has grown colder, we'll lean on jazz, on tired shoulders. The day's last quiet smile sat on the windowsill, a little curve of color that made the evening still. We watched it fade to pastel, we watched it drift away, and somewhere in that fading light we put our cares away. The day's last quiet smile, soft and small, saying you survived it, you did it all. No fireworks or fanfare, no need for extra style, just the day's last quiet smile. You cleared the cups and plates aside, you turned the big lights down. We walked around the tired house in yesterday's old gown. You asked me how I'm feeling, I said a little worn. You squeezed my hand and answered, at least we made it through the storm. Some victories are thunder, some come with marching bands, but some just sit in silence in how we hold each hand. So when the night grows darker, when doubts begin to creep, we'll think about that little smile before the world fell asleep. The day may not be perfect, but that's not quite the test. It's weather at the end of it. We found some rest. The day's last quiet smile, true and kind, a gentle nudge of peace us a while to share one quiet smile. Moonlight stirred into the teacup, silver in the steam, turns a simple midnight drink into a waking dream. You stand there in the kitchen, barefoot on cold tile, and every little movement makes the shadows wanna smile. Moonlight stirred into the teacup, soft and bright, mixing all our troubles with the night. We sip a little starlight, we swallow down the hush. Moonlight in our cups. You pour a fragile river, I wrap my hands in heat. We lean against the counter where our quiet pulses meet. Outside the world is distant, a sleeping restless beast, but here we taste the peacefulness of a tiny private feast. Maybe we're not wizards, maybe we're not grand, but some small spell is cast tonight in how we simply stand. So when the worries gather like clouds around the bed, we'll wander back to teacups and these lunar drops instead. We'll stir in breaths of mercy, we'll drink what calm we can. Moonlight in our teacup, you and I, my friend. Moonlight stirred into the teacup, true and clear, a shining little ritual to keep us here. If magic ever found us in a quiet midnight stop, it would be in our teacup. Your fingers in a lamp's soft light, resting on my knee, look like little stories only I was meant to see. The shade was made of amber, the room was barely bright, but somehow every inch of you was clear to me that night. Your fingers in the lamp's soft light, calm and warm, gentle as a harbor from the storm. You didn't say
to try. Your fingers told me why. You traced a lazy circle on the fabric of my jeans, a small and secret language for the quiet in between. I answered with a squeeze of hand, a shy and subtle plea, and in that wordless dialogue you gave the best of we. Grand gestures fade like fireworks, big speeches turn to dust, but hands in gentle lamplight are anchors I can trust. So leave the lamp on low tonight, let evening have its say. Let everything that frightens us stay just a step away. We'll talk when we feel ready. We'll cry if we must cry, but we'll begin with fingers by your fingers in the lamp's soft light. Soft and near are all the proof I need that you are here. If love could pick a moment to show its truest side, it'd be your hands in quiet light. Small stars in our little living room, fairy lights along the wall, twinkle like they're cheering for two humans after all. The carpet holds our footprints, the sofa holds our weight, and somehow in this modest space our galaxies await. Small stars in our little living room, warm and bright, hanging like a secret sky inside our night. We don't need constellations high above the gloom. We have stars in our room. You switch them on at twilight, you dim the bigger lamp. The corners turn to cozy as the day dries off its damp. We curl up with a blanket, we share a quiet show, but I'm too busy watching all the ways you glow. Out there the world is endless, with galaxies and wars, but here we build a haven from dollar store stars. So if the sky feels distant, if heaven seems too high, we'll bring a little portion to hang before our eyes, and in the soft reflection on your cheek and mine, I see a universe in perfect size.
Small stars in our little living room, true and kind, lighting up the shadows in my mind. If someone asked where magic lives when life is full of gloom, I'd point to you and this room. The night that didn't want to sleep, sat outside our door, pacing down the hallway on our creaking floor. The clock was past its bedtime, the windows should be dim, but something in the starlight wanted us with him. The night that didn't want to sleep, calm, not cruel, kept a quiet vigil by our room. We whispered into pillows, we laughed instead of wept on the night that couldn't sleep yet. You said your thoughts were noisy, I said mine were too. We traded little worries till they somehow shrank in view. We turned the lamp to low flame, we let the record spin. We watched the shadows waltzing till the calm crept in. Not every sleepless evening must be a war to win. It can become a playground for softer things within. Eventually the night yawned wide, its edges growing thin, and light like whispered apology crept slowly in again. We closed our eyes at sunrise, but held a secret keep. The way we turned no sleep to peace. The night that didn't want to sleep, soft and long, became a gentle backdrop for our song. If ever darkness lingers and we feel too weak to leap, we'll play again with nights that don't want sleep. Tonight the world feels softer than it did before, as if the sky decided not to knock so hard on doors. The lamplight hums a blessing
The floor forgets our weight, and all the rushing yesterdays feel suddenly less late. Tomorrow leaning kindly toward us, gentle near, like a friend who's finally learned to quiet fear. We don't know what will happen, we don't know what to trust, but I feel tomorrow leaning toward us. You fold the last of dishes, you turn the big lights low. You ask me if I'm ready for whatever's next to grow. I take a breath and answer, not really, but I'll try. And you just smile, that steady smile that keeps my courage high. Maybe hope is not a banner, not a marching, shining band. Maybe it's just going forward with someone holding hands. So let the darkness finish its quiet nightly tour. We'll leave a crack of faith ajar in case of something more. I don't need guarantees tonight, no polished perfect chorus, just this sense, tomorrow leans toward us. Tomorrow leaning kindly toward us, soft and true, bringing just enough of light to see us through. And if the road is winding, if the journey asks too much, we'll walk it with tomorrow's touch. The night exhales its tired breath, the stars turn down their fuss, and somewhere in the quiet sky